But I think our kids have a lot more in common, so it's very honest. So like, for me and my daughter, if my daughter's talking to a guy, she has a boyfriend, she has a father that can talk to her like a friend. Like this one boy she was talking to, he took her phone and looked at her DMs, right? So my daughter was like, okay. So my daughter was like, all right, give me your phone. He ran upstairs. Came back down 10 minutes later. I was like, you know why he ran upstairs, right? She was like, why? I said, because he erased everything that he didn't want you to see. She was like, really? I'm like, goddamn right he did. I said, if that wasn't the case, he'd have gave it to you right there. She was like, oh. But, those are the things that I can teach her.
Yes.
The phones are the devil.
Yeah. Right.
If you don't learn anything today, know that.
So it's Justina Love. This is 50, and I'm honored to be here with Kia Casey. Rashawn.
I'm here too.
Yes, I'm on this side today. Guys, I mean, first of all, Queens lovebirds.
Aw, yes.
New York's own Queens, right? You gotta say that. And you guys are out with the Love Bible.
Oh, is that what you're calling it? I like that. I like that.
Okay,
I
so
like it.
Wait, a quarter of a century?
Yes.
More than a quarter of a century together.
More than a quarter of a century.
27 years together.
That's
Yes.
right.
20 years married, about to be 21.
No, 21, about to be 22. No,
No.
21 May. 21 May. 21
Okay,
May. 21 May.
She just
See?
told me.
Almost got in trouble. 21 in May.
Let's go back to the book.
21 in May.
Yes.
I love it. 6 kids later.
Yes.
Such a blessing. I mean, you guys are going for the football team?
Nah, that's it. 6,
No,
we
we're
done.
done.
Done. Basketball
we're
team.
done.
That's
Oh my
it.
God. And you look amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Okay. We're here to talk about the book, right?
Yes.
April 19th, Real Life. Real Love comes out. And everybody truly wants to know, how have you guys been in love together all these years? I'm so happy the book is out. But let's get into what was the reason behind the book. What made you guys write this book?
I'll let you answer that.
I mean, I think it started off with, like you said, we've been together 27 years. I was 16, she was 15. And people always want to ask why, how? How did y'all stay together that long? Through the ups, through the downs, through, me growing and the industry, how? So we started a podcast. It's called the Casey Crew Podcast, and we just started talking about different things in our relationship. Problems we had, situations. Like I tell everybody all the time, like you go to a barbershop and you could talk about your favorite NBA player, LeBron or Michael Jordan, or you could talk about your favorite kicks, or you could talk about everything else, music, your favorite artist, your favorite rapper. But, the things that matter in life, there's no conversation about, you know what I mean? So if I'm having a problem with my wife or somebody's having a problem with their girl and be like, yo, she's bugging, bro, this, that, and the other, we don't have those type of conversations. We don't have a conversation where I can be like, look, my wife said this. What do you think that means? And you can be like, well, that means this, that, and the other. Well, we can have that conversation. We'll talk about somebody else. We'll be like, yo, did you see her jeans? Did you see Will Smith slap Chris Rock? We'll talk about everything else but the things that matter. So I was like, let's write a book where we can start a conversation where hopefully couples, single people, people that are in relationships, not in relationships, can have a conversation based on what we've been through. Like I said, it's been 27 years and it hasn't been, easy. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh yeah, this perfect relationship. It's far from it. And that's what we want to show. A lot of times you look on Instagram, you see the perfect relationship, but there's no such thing. And we break down about how our imperfect relationships and our imperfect situations make a perfect marriage.
And I thought it was so genius that you guys truly, through the love, have mastered the art of love and are here 27 years later to make it into a business. Because now we have, like you said, the Gia Casey podcast. We have, the Casey Crew podcast.
Yes.
We have this book coming out. I mean, the kids, there's just so much behind this. Now, I must know, what was it about him in high school that got you, and what was it about her in high school that got you?
Well, he stood out. Him and his best friend Randy, who's also known as DJ Mono right now. He's on the radio in Atlanta.
He actually taught me how to DJ.
Oh.
He's the only friend that I have that I've known longer than I've known Gia. The only friend. And I've known him 30 years.
Yeah. So when I transferred into his school, I transferred in as a junior, but I was 15 because I skipped a grade in school, and he was a senior. And I would see him and Randy running around the corridors with pastel polo button downs. Rashawn would wear a pink one. Randy would wear a lavender one, same color that you're wearing now, with our uniform pants, and then pink and lavender scrunch socks with the polo boots, laced all the way up and then untied. And I'm like, oh, okay, well.
I'm liking that style.
He's a little swaggy. He looked a little different than everybody else. He got my attention, but I was a new girl in school, so I was getting a lot of attention. You know, I kind of had an opportunity to date different guys because, you know, different guys were just showing interest at my school and schools nearby and whatnot. So at first I kind of wanted to take advantage of that, but Rashawn was relentless. You know, he kept trying and kept trying, kept trying. And we talk about it in the book until finally those boundaries kind of broke. And I was like, all right, let me give this dude a chance, you know. So I finally took his phone call. And once we started speaking on the phone, I was like, there's something to this kid, you know? And I would say after about maybe 2 weeks of talking over the phone, 6, 7, 8 hour conversations until the sun comes up and, you know, we have to get off the phone because we have to get ready for school. I'm like, you know what? I think this is like my guy. I think that this is someone I'm going to be with forever. And it's kind of hard to imagine because I was a really young girl, extremely inexperienced, and having those feelings, having that conviction about someone I've known for a drop in the bucket of time. But I think, you know, that's kind of what we refer to in the title, you know, life lessons on joy, pain, and the magic that holds us together. It was the magic that started us in the first place. So.
Oh my God, I'd love to hear it on your end. Look at him, he's mesmerized.
I am. See, for me, and this is like the first time I've seen it. So when she came to my school, like she said, she was fresh meat.
Well, I didn't put it that way. I didn't quite put it that way.
She was fresh meat. So let me break it down. So think about it like this, right? You in school, she was running track. So I used to stalk her. So you know what the track outfits look like. Real skimpy, real short. She's running up and down and out. Mind you, in high school, she had double D's. So now she's running.
Wow, this went from magical.
You see, to just worldly.
So look,
just a worldly
now this
situation.
This is me. Like when she's running, bong 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 bong, bong 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 bong, bong bong bong. So that's that right there. I was in love right there. And you know, I wasn't as handsome as I am now. You know, I was 5'4". I had glasses, braces, acne.
Oh, you were lucky. Yeah.
I was lucky.
Sorry,
I was lucky.
I'm a teacher, so a high school teacher at that. So I'm like, you really bringing it.
Yeah, so I was lucky. So she looked amazing, and I wanted to meet her. So I kept trying. She kept curving me. I kept trying. I gave her my number. She wouldn't call. So I was persistent. I was like, nah, I'm gonna get this. And then once we got together and we started speaking, it was like everything was just together. We had the same interests. We had the same likes. We did the same things. We loved the same types of food, and we just connected. And, you know, back then, I was slow. Not slow as in a slow student or child.
You sure?
Maybe a little bit. But when it came to, like, relations and sex, I was slow. I wasn't putting no pressure on her. I didn't want to, you know, smash. I wasn't into that. I was slow. I didn't have any. I was an only child.
He was a
So
turtle.
slow, he was focused on the D's. But okay. I
mean, I could see what I like, but I didn't know what to do.
He liked them, but he didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do with them. So, which was great, which was great for both of us, and we just kind of just went on our relationship, and we just really got to know each other. And it wasn't about sex. It wasn't about anything but just having fun. Together. And that fun turned into a friendship, which really turned into lovers, which really turned into where we are today.
And I asked you guys that question because I was going to say, is that the same reason you're together today? And it really does sound like that, the relentlessness.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The fact that, I mean, she's still gorgeous.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
But just, you know, you guys literally lead it up into what this is today. Oh my goodness. Okay, now, the idea of love. You tapped into that in the beginning when you said why you guys wrote this book. And we're so focused on, the music's dead. The vibes are dead. What about love? Where's the vulnerability right now? In the industry, in the streets, in society? This is why I feel this is so important. What do you guys feel on that? Why do you feel people are so afraid to be vulnerable and to be in love and to broadcast not only the fake relationships, but, to really broadcast the relationships. We don't get enough of that.
I'll be honest with you. If I didn't meet Gia the way that we met and the way that we connected, I don't know if I would be as vulnerable as I am. With social media, you see it all the time, right? You see a boyfriend and a girlfriend, they go through something. What's the first thing they do? The girl posts this. Oh, you wasn't saying that when you was licking my toes. Or, the guy says, oh, you wasn't saying that when, but how can I be vulnerable when we get, when there's a problem, you use it against me? That's one thing about our relationship. I never have to worry about my wife using something against me. I can be as vulnerable as possible. I can come home and cry, and I ain't got to worry about later on Instagram, but like, this nigga was crying earlier. Like, I don't have to worry about that. Like, we have that type of relationship. The same thing with her. If there's something that bothers her or something that she's insecure about, she doesn't have to worry about me saying, yo, she was like, we don't have that. And I think that's difficult for most. And I think the second thing, most people don't know the definition of love, right? And I didn't know the definition of love, right? So when you really learn the definition of love and you understand the definition of love, you understand, like, you don't want to hurt your person, your best friend, your partner, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. You don't want to hurt that person. You don't want to lie to that person. You don't want to be secretive to that person. And then when you learn the real definition of love, and people say, because it's easy to be like, I love you. I love you, Mom. I love you, you love me. But do you really mean that? And then when you mean it, yeah, it's not going to be easy. We're going to go through we still argue at here and there. But you know what I mean? But we know that we are there for each other. We know that even if it's an argument, we're going to try to be as honest as possible. We're not going to keep secrets. Like, most of the time when I post something on Instagram, I'd be like, yo, babe, I'm about to get on this flight. Can you post that for me? She posted whatever she needs to do. Hey, babe. So when you see a post on Instagram and the spelling is correct, that's her. When the spelling is effed up and you see ... dots and tomorrow as a T, a 2, MORO, that's me. When it's the right way, that's her. But, that's...
at this age, she still doesn't know the difference between there, and there.
I don't.
I'd be like, yeah, your post this morning, it's the wrong there. Change it.
Are you there because you need to fix the there?
He was like, my followers don't give a bleep.
Yeah. I'm like, fix it when you get a chance. But that's the type of relationship we have.
I think that, you're saying, music is dead, vibes are dead and whatnot. Like, we're talking about the music industry, right? Yeah. Or just people that are high profile. When I say high profile, I don't even mean celebrities or people that are in a celebrity circle. You can be high profile in your own life, amongst your own peers, And when you live that kind of life, you think about, the music industry, I'll use as an example. When we were coming up, when you look at a music video, what do you see? Dudes in clubs popping bottles, they got hoes. Like there's women around them, groupies around them. And this is the type of lifestyle that a lot of young men, particularly a lot of young urban men, aspire to. This is what they seem to think, or they're raised to think by our music and by our culture, by the industry. That's what they're made to think is, that's where they need to be, or that's the lifestyle to achieve, to get to. Like, that's what, they're kind of after. Like, yeah, I want to make money like drug dealers. Yeah, I want to make money like rappers. Yeah, I want to make money like a basketball player, And there's a whole other life out there aside from being an entertainer and whatnot. And they may be on those paths. They might want to go to school to be a lawyer or a periodontist or whatever, but that's still what influences them. And those lifestyles don't glorify being married, raising a family, being a stand-up person, coming home every night. That's not what our culture and the music industry teaches young black men. So to answer your question, they're not raised to be proud of being monogamous, to be proud of having children. Usually it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to a club. I'm going to leave the wife behind and I'm going to do everything I can to appear as though I have no kids. To appear as though I'm not taken. Yes, and it's the culture. So we're still living in that today. Now you're starting to see people, men, start to showcase their wives, their families a little bit more. But I also think it's because, they're getting to a point in their life that, we've gotten to, that Rashawn's gotten to, where you sit back and you're like, nah, that lifestyle's for the birds.
Yep.
And I think a lot of guys are just tired at this point. They're a little bit, they're at a point where it's like, yeah, I don't got the energy to be chasing women. I don't got the energy to be in the club. I want to be in bed at 9:30.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I think life kind of catches up to some of them now.
Old. Who's gonna come
Yeah,
home
it's
to
like,
me?
you know what? Let me just sit back and enjoy the fruits of all of my labor. So, I can showcase it now. But the younger guys, a lot of them have to go through it to really get to that point.
In the book, you guys give 25 questions that I was like, ooh, to ask yourself before getting married.
Yes.
Can you guys give us one?
One of them
And
we
talk
discussed.
about it.
We discussed about one of them already was the definition of love, and another one that we always talk about when you get married. Can you be with that person forever? All right,
For
not
a
just
lifetime.
for a
That's
lifetime.
that's how we put it. Can you be with that person for a lifetime?
When their balls drop low,
Awesome.
when their hair turns gray, when their breasts sag.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to be with that person no matter what. It's not about the looks because, you can look amazing at 18, but, when you get a little older, gravity takes over and, your hair gets a little gray. You start to get a little wrinkles. Are you there for that right reason? And like I tell everybody, if Gia, was gained 700 pounds, like, that's still my baby. You know what I mean? If she, had to cut off her feet, that's still, I'm going to carry her. That's still my baby. You know what I mean? But that's how I feel about it. It doesn't matter about how she looks. Thank God she looks amazing and beautiful. But if she didn't, it doesn't matter because I'm here for her heart. I'm here for who she is. You know what I mean? That's one of the things besides the love question is are you willing to be with that person for a lifetime?
Yeah, for a lot of people, the idea of marriage is more about the thrill of it, the spectacle of it. Like,
Yes.
oh, he just proposed to me. Girl, how did he propose?
Yeah.
You tell the story. It's about the drama of it, the drama and the beauty, the magnificence of the wedding day and, spending that year to plan it, getting your videographer, your photographer, your flowers, the venue, your dress, your bridesmaid's dresses, this whole big thing. You get thrilled about the day. And you're thrilled about the day because of the love that you're experiencing in those moments,
And keeps you busy.
Yeah, yes. But a lot of people don't stop to ask themselves what a lifetime really looks like. Like in that moment, it's like, yeah, we do this, we do that. I love this about him, I love that about him, and he's so wonderful to me, and all these things. But it's like, wow, over a lifetime, you are going to go through so many changes mentally, emotionally, and physically. And the person that you are the day that you get married, you probably won't be that same exact person 10 or 15 years down the line. And at that point, what are you going to do? Are you going to give up on the marriage because now you feel like you're married to someone different? And that's another thing. A lot of people try to change the person that they're with. And we can all improve. We all stand to improve. Yeah. So I want to become better as an individual, as does my husband, and I want to become better as a unit. I want to improve as a unit. But at the core of me, I am who I am. And a lot of people will say, yeah, we'll get married. And, those things that weren't okay, like, they'll change. I'll change him. Like, I'll work on him. And then 10 years when you're tired of trying and those things that you didn't like on your wedding day don't change, are you going to throw your hands up? What does a lifetime look like? What happens if the person that you're with gets ill and you have to take care of them? What if their parents get ill and their parents have to move in with you and you have to take care of them? Are you there for a lifetime? All of these changes can take place, and are you in it to win it? Do you know, like, how committed are you to the idea of marriage? Because once that spectacle is over, then you really have to deal with real life. What happens if the person that you're with, when you married him, he was high on the hog, he was doing well? What happens, in 10 years, his business fails? Look at the pandemic. You know how many people got slapped in the face with reality during the pandemic? Are you still going to be there rubbing his back, talking about, baby, I love you, I'm with you through and through. It doesn't matter what happens. We're going to ride this roller coaster together. What does a lifetime look like? So that's what that question refers to.
Wow. Oof. Oh my goodness, I'm like lost in her. Yeah, I have to ask. This question is solely for you. Being with a DJ, sometimes girls are like, I'm never gonna get a guy in the industry. Hell no,
Oh.
you can't deal with men in the industry.
Yeah.
What's the mentality that has kept you strong and here today?
Well, those girls are right. Let's just put that out there. I'm kidding, but I'm not. Had I entered, Rashawn and I, like we said, we've been together since we were young.
That's right.
So we went through all those
Yeah.
transitions
That's right.
together.
Yes.
Had I met him once he was already established, I was with him when he was DJ Shrimp and he was DJing Sweet 16s. Do you know what I mean? I was there as it turned into DJ Envy, and DJ Envy was ambitious in chasing his dreams and established a career and then made it concrete and then built and built and built from there. I had no idea that there was that kind of potential for change in him once he became established in the industry. So he was always Rashawn to me. I've never called him DJ Envy. I've never referred to him as Envy. It's like weird to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew Rashawn, but once he left our home, he was DJ Envy. And with DJ Envy came a persona, an ego, a bravado, which he didn't bring home. So I didn't really realize that there was this juxtaposition between what I experienced and what people in the street experienced. And don't get me wrong, I knew that, once he left the house, he was like on one, like, all right, now you're Hollywood. Okay, we get it. You know what I mean? But I didn't realize the degree to which the potential existed for him to change. And we did go through that. And I have to say that that was the cause of the majority of the problems that we've ever experienced. It was that dual personality, if you want to say. So it kind of goes back to the question that you asked a little bit earlier. What does the industry expect of you? What do you have to be perceived as cool, And you don't want to, be around your industry friends talking about, my wife, and my wife is so crazy, she did today. Like, those are the type of conversations that he would be having.
Yeah.
So I think he got lost in that, and it caused a lot of issues. So getting back to your question, what would I tell girls that stand to get with someone in the industry? And again, it doesn't even have to be the industry. They could just be high profile in their own lives.
Right.
We all have friend groups, and like you look at different people in your groups differently depending on what they do, how they carry themselves, etc. And it can be someone who's just say is an entrepreneur and does very well. He might move a little bit differently than the person who's just doing all right and getting by check to check. Do you see what I mean? The way that we perceive people based on what they present in life, it's really interesting. That could be a whole other conversation. So it's more about how do you present yourself to someone that you look at as is doing it in life? And I think with those people, you have to be careful. You have to tread lightly, because in those situations, it can also come with a bravado and an ego as well, and that's always dangerous.
When it comes to your success and being on the Breakfast Club and having this dynamic that you've had with Charlemagne and Angela Yee, do you think it's because of the relationship you carry with Gia?
No.
The fact that you're...
I know it's because of that.
Oh, I'm like, damn, you didn't even let me finish. Scared me.
No, it's not. I don't think it's I know. I mean, she keeps me grounded. She gives me, inspiration. It's like it feels good to come home after the world beats you up and you fight through everything in this world, whether it's something small from somebody cutting you off or, you dealing with bull crap at work, to just come home and have somebody that's going to lift you up, that's going to support you, that's going to rub your back, that's going to be like, what you did today, you did how many? Well, you can double that tomorrow, Even when, I do car shows, when I first came home to do my first car show, when I first came and said I want to do a car show, everybody was like, you're bugging. Car shows don't work. Car shows don't sell. They'll never do well. They don't do good. And I wanted to do it. And she was like, you can do it. It'll work. And I was like, yeah, but see, I'm from Queens, so I don't like to ask people for favors. So she was like, yo, don't ask anybody. She was like, you always talk to 50. Just ask Fifth. I asked Fifth, and he gave me his cause. And that one cause show, we expected 1,000 people. We got 3,000 people the first year, 5,000 the second year, third year 16,000. You know what I mean? But if I didn't have her in my corner, I would have never did those call shows. You know, same thing with the radio. When I was on Hot 97, I didn't want to leave Hot. I was like, nah, I'm comfortable. I'm secure. Like, you know, even though they wasn't paying me a whole lot, but I'm like, I'm comfortable. You know, I'm good. I can DJ my little parties. I got this. And she was like, yeah, but do you want that? Don't you want to aspire to be better? Yeah. Like right now you're at a glass ceiling. Like, let's see what's on the other side. So I jumped and I didn't know where I was jumping. And I jumped into Power 105. I did afternoons at first. And it was doing great. And then they came to do the morning show. And I'm like, nah, I don't want to do the morning show again. It might not work. You know, you want to put me with Charlamagne. He got fired 4 times. Angela Yee.
You put me on a sinking ship?
Right.
Nah,
I was like, Angela Yee, she curses like a sailor. So I'm like, we going to get fired. And she was like, nah, give it a try. She was like, you're good, he's good, she's good. Y'all will be great together. It's going to take some time, but do it. And we did. And, you know, that was 12 years ago. And, you know, we're in the Radio Hall of Fame. We're probably the longest urban morning show that's on radio right now, you know, which is crazy. It's crazy when you see somebody that's 22 that says, yo, I was a kid listening to y'all. And I'm thinking to myself, I was a kid when I started doing it. But, you know, so, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, absolutely. If it wasn't for her and that stability and her making sure she was always in my corner, you know what I mean? It's good to have somebody that you can come home to and that's not going to judge you. That's just going to listen to you and be like, well, this is what we should do, you know? And so, yeah, so I don't think, I know if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Oh, man. Okay, last thing.
Mm-hmm.
The family, what is it? With
Mission
the mission
statement.
statement? As a teacher, we drive off of this. This is what we teach the kids towards this mission statement, right?
What grade do you teach?
I teach high school, so I'm
Wow.
9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Oh, my,
Oh, wow.
what class?
I'm English teacher.
English.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I would have failed, but go ahead. I still don't know my theirs, and where's, words, and all that, but go ahead.
So I feel like it's so important, and I never heard this before, and I'm going to be real. I'm going to take that advice, and I'm going home with this one today. But throw that out there for us really quickly.
So a lot of families, parents in particular, they don't put that much effort into deciding who they want to be as a family. It takes intentionality and a deliberate nature to decide, to sit down with your family and say to each other, who do we want to be as a family? For me, it's very important that my entire family is a unit. We don't just represent ourselves individually, we represent each other inside the house and once we walk outside of the house. Like my son, he doesn't care about, he goes to a Catholic school, Catholic all-boys school, and he could care less about his appearance. And I'm like, honey, your khakis are wrinkled to be damned. They need to be ironed. Do not walk out of the house like that. And he's like, Mom, I go to all-boys school. Like, nobody cares about what I'm wearing, if my pants are wrinkled or not. And I said to him, I'm like, you look like nobody loves you. So you are representing this family when you are out of this house. And that is the smallest of examples, but the amount of respect that my children have for others. Teachers, people in authority, my sons, for women and girls. Do you hold the door when a young lady wants to walk through it? Do you help an old lady cross the street? Do you give of yourself to members of the opposite sex and to members of your sex if you see someone that's in need or that is deserving of help? How do you represent the way that you were raised? Because we're very deliberate about how we raise our children. You know, kids, they grow up to be who you raised them to be. And it starts with a family mission statement. How do we want to be perceived as a family? What is important to us as a family? For us in our household, and not to sound dismissive of people outside of our household, but we don't give a bleep about what anybody else thinks except the people in our family, you know? I could care less about an Instagram comment or someone's opinion unless I know that I did something wrong or bad or something that I'm not proud of. Then I care about people's critiques of me because I know that I deserve them. But you can't really worry about what other people think about you because you don't know what their opinions are rooted in. It can be hate or jealousy or a myriad of other things. So I teach my children, do not value the opinions of others. If you're if you question anything that you've done or who you are as a person, come to your family and ask us, and we'll give it to you straight. We'll let you know if you're being a jerk in a certain situation. Do you know what I mean? So that's part of our family mission statement. You know, it's about being independent, being strong, having self-esteem, being self-assured, knowing who you are as a person, because who you know yourself to be is a good person. So I encourage every family to pour that into their families. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Absolutely. I mean, she said it all.
She said
You
it
don't
all.
have to say anything, okay? Guys, again, the Love Bible, April 19th, y'all. Real life, real love. Kia, Casey, DJ Henry, Rashawn. I never knew your name until today.
There you go.
R-double-A, capital S-H-A-U-N. His mother is very creative.
My
when
mother's
he
very
was
hood.
born.
She's North Side Jamaican queen. She got a little
writing
creative.
it as she was like screaming in a way too. You know,
She wrote it
us
16
Caribbean
different ways and
people,
settled on that one.
Yes.
That was the winner.
Yes. Guys, oh my gosh. From society, the teacher in me, the mother in me, I thank you guys.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for having
Thanks
us.
for having
This
us.
is an honor.
Living through love, truly. This is truly an inspiration to sit with the both of you.
Oh.
Thank you.
And here you guys have it. This is 50, Justina Love, April 19th. Get yours. I got mine.